Hey mate, what are you doing putting the water pump? It's a nice new water pump, but you haven't cleaned up all this mess yet.
The pump goes on before the cleaning. We don't want dirt going into the block.
That's it, that's good, right? So we strip it all down. See, this is all dirty and dusty. Put the water pump on, and then we're gonna give this a massive clean up. Why? Because this engine, this 120, 2007, has done nearly 500,000 kilometers, 427,000 kilometers. I mean, that's a lot of motoring, people, isn't it? 427,000 kilometers. And basically no problems, you know. It's had the injectors replaced from us, let's say recently. It's had the SCV, the long SCV. If you don't know about that, check out the injector information playlist. Check out all the playlists. We're going to reverse flush the core of this radiator, give it a really good wash out, because it's got 427,000 Ks of dirt and dust rammed in there from the front here. It's going to be in that condenser and in that radiator core. Although this one actually doesn't look too bad. So you can see through to the bottom. Sometimes they're full of leaves and all sorts, but there will be plenty of stuff coming out. When you get the BFE kit from me, in case you're interested, Monday morning, 7:30 AM, hit me with that text message. Keep watching the videos if you don't. There's a whole playlist, BFE, right? And when you do this job, you'll see what I mean. We get the pressure washer, not too close. We don't want to damage that radiator, and give it all a nice, good clean. Go closer, go closer. Anyway, 427,000 kilometers. We're talking about a lot of kilometers on these cars. They're bloody good vehicles to be able to last this long with minimal problems by doing a little bit of extra maintenance if you're going to expect to get that sort of kilometers and you want to keep it reliable. I wouldn't be jumping in replacing radiators too soon. We've had a bit of radiator talk lately, so I'm just going to crap on about the radiator a little bit. But before I do, there's more than one way to do things. You know, the way I do the BFE, you know, I've shown in videos, put the fan, put one nut, put it all, the belt on, and then you just take the one nut off, whatever, not the fan, put the nut on and then take it off when you put the fan on, whatever. Goes on an angle like that and it'll, you know, but there's other ways to do things, and this is the other way to do things. So you can sit the belt in position like that, all right, and then when you go to put the fan on, this pulley will just push in like that without any nut being in the way. And then afterwards, once the fan and fan shroud's in the way, if you're okay with it, you can get onto the tensioner and just lever that over and hook the belt around the alternator. But always make sure that these rib belts are 100% all the way on lined up, because it was like one spline out at the bottom. Remember seeing it years ago where people made mistakes on when all the Fords and Holdens, V6s and all that went to the poly rib belts like this. Quite often people made mistakes. And those belts back then, they'd start cracking up at 60,000 Ks. So these are far superior, like I've said before. EPDM. So understand, genuine quality parts. I don't know what Dayco and Gates and all that are. All I know, these are bloody good. Don't bother with anything else. That's what we include in the BFE kit. The drive belt, all the bearings, here, there's 5 bearings. Time belt, idler, tensioner, cam seal, water pump. These are the things that move that have got bearings. I'm not going to replace aircon compressors or alternators until they fail, because they're also very rare on these vehicles. But of course it can happen eventually, depending how lucky you are. Now, over to the radiator. See, these things typically, a lot of people break off when they accidentally, they lean on it or they whatever, and I for a long time thought that was the only cause, when people, you know, lean on them and snap them off. And they say they're easier to break, and here we are, we've got a 2007 120, so it's getting close to 20 years old, right? I've been given this one a fair wobble. It's not going to, at a risk, if I break it, I've got to buy them a radiator. That's quite strong. So there's a chance that the 150s, maybe they get hotter for whatever reason. I haven't thought about it yet, because heat seems to be what damages the plastics in the radiators. So the 120s seem fine. Every now and then you're going to get a leak at the seam, at the O-ring, somewhere down here, or in the core either side. It could be hidden down there. This one hasn't got it. 427,000 Ks, and it hasn't got the, you know, the coolant will be leaking out down here somewhere. Coolant's a lot cheaper than radiators and all the other engine components that the coolant protects. So I recommend, especially on all the older cars, once it gets past 5-6 years old, every 2 years, coolant, drop it. Don't bother flushing it, it'll be clean still. Use the genuine stuff. It's going to cost you 80 bucks. You can do it yourself, Right, drain plug down the bottom there on the 120. Right, opposite side on the 150s. Hilux has got one too. Bleeder thing at the top, fillers at the top. It's all straightforward. Drop it out, let it drain, do your work, and then refill. It's all you need to do. If you do that every 2 years, it'll get most of it out, not all of it. You haven't introduced any bad water or any other things. It's all pre-mixed, ready to go. It's good quality stuff. The evidence is right here, how clean everything is. So that's my advice. I mean, have a look. You want to have a closer look, see what I mean, look, is there any corrosion there? I mean, mechanics, please let us know in the comments. Remember, let's use a really good example. The best one I can think of is the EA Falcons, right? And there's a few people having a laugh. Remember, 60,000 kilometers. These were corroding away. It used to bulge up here. You could pull the hose off, you could clean it up. But then we just replaced thermostat housings. They were like, it got done under warranty a lot of the time, you know, because it was leaking. So you'd get a new housing, a new thermostat. Thermostats were a big problem as well. Always stuck open, running cold, using fuel, running rich. And of course, once it corrodes up, it swells the hose. It doesn't happen on these cars. 427,000 k's. Do you know how good these are? It's just unbelievable how good they are. Anyway, so look, replace your radiator if you want, but I'm not saying because I did, you've got to jump in and go and replace the radiator, because this one's done about the same amount of Ks. The one I replaced, I don't see a problem with it, so I've got a spare there if you need a cheap one. You know, if somebody can't afford, you know, what was it, 800 bucks or something for the new one. It's going to be less than half price, whatever, or you can just go get an aftermarket one and should be right. You know, I haven't thought about it, Tim. I'm just saying it's there, it's a spare. I'm not saying I need to sell it. It's just there if, you know, you want the genuine product and you can't afford the new one for some reason. You've damaged one, you got a problem with one. Just thought I'd mention it, whatever. Yeah, that's about it really. Just do the BFE job. Follow the video, subscribe, turn the bell on. This was just a bit of a chit chat to get you thinking. Yep, these vehicles, that's how long they last. You know I like them. I think you like it too if you're still watching the video. And just showing you the experiences so you can decide what you need to do next. Catch you in the next one.